Buckle up, buttercups, for another glorious descent into the online gaming arena. Today's combatants, not the usual predictable AI mucks. Nope, this time it's you lot, the glorious players. We've got the tactical masterminds who think charging headfirst into a hail of gunfire is a bold strategy. Then there's the blame game champions, convinced the developers are personally responsible for the questionable KD ratio. And let's not forget the comment section comedians recycling the same dusty jokes like they invented the internet. But fret not, folks, I'm here to dissect this glorious mess with the precision of a brain surgeon operating on a bowl of spaghetti. So hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get started. Alright everyone, today's first victim is a special someone in the comment section. A user by the name of, oh dear, Chuck Site 3914 is it? Well Chuck, that name certainly suits you. Sounds like you chucked all your time at bad video games and even worse takes. Now then, you say there's no real need to improve at games, that gaming is a hobby, and if you're not an elite player you should find better things to do. Let me tell you something, Chuckles. Life's a game, and based on this comment, you're certainly losing rather spectacularly. Here's the thing, Chuck. Improvement is what separates the couch potatoes from the champions. It's about dedication, about honing your skill, about pushing yourself to be better. You wouldn't scoff at someone who wanted to learn a new language or master the piano, would you? Well, gaming can take just as much discipline, if not more. And let's not forget about the strategic thinking, the problem solving, the lightning fast reflexes these elite players you seem to look down on possess. Seems like real skill to me, wouldn't you say? And as for these better things to do with your life, well, chucking out negativity on YouTube comments certainly isn't high on that list. Perhaps you should take your own advice, Chuck. Crawl back into whatever dark corner of the internet you emerged from and reevaluate your life choices. Because right now, you sound about as useful as a chocolate teapot and a Scottish downpour. But hey, that's just my 2 pence. You keep doing you, Chuckles. Just remember, while you're out there watching paint dry, the rest of us will be busy mastering the games you clearly can't handle. In the meantime, if you ever decide to, actually get good at a game, feel free to drop by my channel. Maybe, just maybe, I can teach you a thing or two. But until then, keep on chucking, my friend. Right then, seen this doing the rounds about the lack of SBMM in XDefiant. Now listen here, you get some folks crying out for skill-based matchmaking, wanting to play against folks who only use spokes and throw pillars. Frankly, that sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry on a rainy Tuesday in Doncaster. Look, a bit of variety is the spice of life, innit? You learn not by stomping all over newbies every match. You want to challenge. You do. You want to be out there facing down a right proper mix of skill levels, thinking on your feet, adapting to the right gear and tactics. That's where the fun lies. It's about learning, about bloody improvisation. You take a right good kicking from a higher ranked player, you watch, you learn. You come back next time a bit sharper, a bit more cunning. That's how you improve. That's how you get better. Besides, who wants to admit they only have fun when they're wiping the floor with everyone else? That's the recipe for a right miserable git, that is. Not wrong with a good challenge, is there? Keeps you on your toes. Now, about these reverse boosters. It's the right kicking teeth, innit? Preying on lower ranked folks to inflate your ego. Pathetic. You want to be top dog? You earn it the honest way, by getting better, not by bullying beginners. So, chin up, buttercup, embrace the variety, learn from your losses and take pride in your victories, big or small. And for those of you who fancy yourselves reverse boosting twinkle toes, well, the word to the wise, nobody likes a bully. You'll find more joy and maybe even a few mates by playing the game proper. Now let's take a wee look at a very special Reddit post. Oh yes, a real corker this one. Sent in by our pal OG Gamer. What a name, eh? Sounds like someone who got a participation trophy for existing. Anyway, OG reckons XDefiant is mid ASF. Now for those of you unfamiliar with the lingo of the youths these days, mid means, well, it's kind of like lukewarm dishwater. Not terrible, mind you, but wouldn't write home about it either. Oh, the horror. Aye, this is what the gaming scene has come to. Bunch of jittery youngsters with the, what is it? Switches? More like light switches controlling their underdeveloped attention spans. Now back in my day, son, mid wasn't some newfangled insult you lot spew about like confetti at a toddler's birthday party. Mid was the strategic term used when you perfectly flanked your opponent in GoldenEye, leaving them as confused as a sheepdog in a room full of mirrors. 2010? Now that's just laughable. We were dodging aliens in Space Invaders back in 78 while you were still naught, but a glint in your daddy's overly optimistic eye. Look lad, I appreciate the feedback, but perhaps next time try something a tad more constructive. Unless of course your knowledge of gaming strategy extends no further than the latest TikTok dance craze. Alright, Blast Tonic. You and you're enjoying these loading times. Must be a right posh part of the world you're living in, where a man can have a leisurely smoke and write a dissertation between games. Most of us here in the real world gotta, use that time productively. Like contemplating the existential dread of even seeing the next map, or questioning our life choices that led us to downloading this particular game. Though I suppose there are some benefits, like having enough time to write a strongly worded letter to the devs about these very same loading times, or perhaps even a sonnet. Express the full depths of one's despair through the power of iambic pentameter. I'm probably just gonna stick to the strongly worded letter. You're more likely to get a response. Right then, back to the existential dread it is. Alright then lads and lasses, gather round for a tale of woe. It seems some folks are up in arms about being chucked into games that are already a right kerfuffle. Now while I understand the frustration of joining a team that's about as coordinated as a bag of ferrets, saying you'll quit too is a bit rich, innit? Here's the thing, nobody signs up to be a punching bag. If you're constantly getting dropped into games where the enemy team's already popped their ultimate attacks and your teammates are about as useful as a chocolate teapot, then yeah, you're gonna want to scarper. It's not some grand betrayal, it's a basic survival instinct. Think about it. You wouldn't shove a bloke in the boxing ring with Tyson Fury in his prime and expect him to come out singing, would you? Same principle. These folks are joining a fight that's already been decided. Now the good folks at XDefiant are working on a solution, but like what? A forfeit option? Aye, that could work. Though knowing some of you lot, you'd probably call a forfeit the second the enemy looked at you sideways. And what about proper matchmaking? Putting folks together who are at least vaguely on the same level. No, we don't want that SBMM crap in XDefiant. The majority of us jumped onto this game for that fact alone, not taking that away from us. So what then? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Until then, here's a thought. Instead of getting your knickers in a twist about folks leaving, how about a spot of teamwork? Maybe a few pointers for the new folks who are just getting trounced. A bit of support, eh? Because let's face it, a half-decent team with a grumpy git like me calling the shots could turn things around. So, chin up folks. Let's make XDefiant a place for strategy, not surrender. And if all else fails, at least we can have a good moan about it, eh? Alright, that's all I have for today. I tell you what, back in my day, difficulty wasn't a microtransaction. It was the entire game, and we liked it. Uphill. Both ways. In the snow. Anyway, don't worry, I'll be back soon, assuming society hasn't completely imploded by then. In the meantime, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, the whole shebang, and I'll see you next time, you magnificent bunch of...